Enterprise augmented reality growth has been slower than expected over the past few years, and it's my belief that there are many truths and myths about what the technology is, and more importantly, what it is not.
It's not that users aren't going to be aware that they're interacting with a bot. I'd say we're still another 2 or 3 years out from that.
So we have the ability to serve ads to people that are half a mile around a GameStop location, or who are in a particular zip code, or who are likely to be Hispanic moms in a certain neighborhood.
Welcome to the Inside Forbes Councils podcast. Each episode shares transformative insights and advice from members of Forbes Councils, a group of invitation-only communities for successful executives and entrepreneurs. This is Inside Forbes Councils.
Hello, and welcome to episode 18 of the Inside Forbes Councils podcast. My name is Stephen Ganoza. Chatbots, AI, VR, AR, and other technologies will continue to mature in 2019. Today, several of our Forbes Councils members will share their thoughts on how these emerging technologies are marketed and how they can be used in marketing. We'll hear from Joseph Surprenant of Upskill, Nolan Clemmons of Clemmons.io, and Robert Brill of Brill Media Group. The promise of augmented reality makes the imagination run wild, but maybe our imaginations are getting a little too far ahead of us. Are companies over-promising what AR can do, especially in the enterprise space? Joseph Surprenant of Upskill.
Hi, this is Joe Surprenant, Senior Director at Upskill, an augmented reality company that services industry and enterprise. Over my career, I've had the pleasure of helping many companies embrace different types of technologies, which have helped them drive different outcomes for their business. I've worked with them to adopt everything from copiers and printers to enterprise application, all the way up to smart glasses and augmented reality. Nowadays, specifically, I have the luxury of traveling the world and helping customers adopt what I think will be the most promising enterprise technology, which is augmented reality. It's truly a dream come true to be able to do this, as I've always wanted to pave the way for a brand new emerging technology. And in my 20 years as a professional, I don't think I've come across anything that has more promise for the enterprise than augmented reality. There's plenty of reports. A new recent report by Zion Market Research confirms this potential. It estimates the enterprise AR market to grow to over $30 billion by 2025. However, despite the excitement and a lot of the different analyst reports, enterprise augmented reality growth has been slower than expected over the past few years. And it's my belief that there are many truths and myths about what the technology is, and more importantly, what it is not. And this has played a major role in stunting some of the growth in the enterprise space. So one comment I'll make here is that we as sales and marketing professionals, we bear the responsibility of making sure we're perpetuating the truth about what our technology can actually accomplish today versus what the promises of technology tomorrow, or in some cases, and things I've seen 20 years from now. Augmented reality is driving tremendous value for a lot of enterprises today, but the distribution of misleading content and news has caused many enterprises to actually pause, believing that the technology today is not quite ready. Here are a few things we can do to ensure that the augmented reality market continues to flourish and companies can truly understand what their, air quotes, reality will be with this new technology. First off, we need to stop with all the augmented reality conceptual videos. While concept videos are a key aspect in building awareness for brand new technology, I think we can agree that AR is not brand new technology. We're past that point. Starting with the Magic Leap Whale in the Gymnasium video back in 2014, which brought great widespread awareness of the promise of AR. The video was not really based on anything that was technologically achievable then, or now for that matter. And, I think that more of these videos today, when the technology is not as nascent, actually blur the lines of what the reality of the technology can be. So I think we should focus more on promoting the actual enterprise success stories that are relevant and coming from companies like Boeing, Walmart, Aptiv, Coca-Cola, Duke Energy, J&J. I mean, the list goes on and on. We owe these real life stories to clients to help them maneuver through some of the abyss of this misleading information that's out there. And I'm confident that these companies will be happy to talk about the savings because they're deriving savings that are not conceptual in nature at all. The second thing we need to do is stop stretching the truth about the customer base that augmented reality companies have. While this technology is not brand new, the technology being adopted by the masses is not there yet. right? I'd be the first one that would love to say, I wish that augmented reality and smart glass companies could prove they had thousands of enterprise customers in deployment, but that's just not the case today. That will be the sign of a very mature market when it happens. But doing things like giving away glasses or giving away application access shouldn't allow companies to put that client's logo up on their website because it misleads where the market really is. I'm very happy to work for a company in upskill that we're proud to share the fact that we only have 50 to 100 enterprise clients. We stand behind each one of these customer deployments, though, and we know that each client is either in production or has a path to a large-scale production rollout. We're diligent about making sure that the customer is pursuing a high value and scalable use case for their business. And if not, we tell them that they should do some more learning about the technology, and when they're ready, we'll re-engage. And we believe this quality and not quantity is the key to sustainable growth. The other thing we need to do more frequently is share each other's successes. I know that sharing successes of a perceived competitor sounds like a foreign concept to us sales and marketing professionals, but the success of your competitors breed new opportunities for everyone. I mean, we're all small fish in this enormous augmented reality pond right now, and if the analysts are even half accurate with their predictions, there's going to be plenty to go around. Promoting the stories of other companies that are embracing this technology and taking it to scale, whether it's with you or a competitor, will help accomplish two things for the market. One, it's going to validate the technology's readiness. And two, it's going to breed better products through competition. While most companies fear going first, they'll all tell you that they fear being left behind even more. So today's successes of augmented reality are real, and they need to be shared more widely. So to be clear, listen, I'm all in on this industry. I live and breathe augmented reality. It's what I do day in and day out. And I've witnessed firsthand how it is revolutionizing the workforce of a lot of companies. I left the comfort of running some pretty large, successful teams at some large companies to join this AR revolution. And I'm convinced that AR will take the enterprise to new heights that's never been seen before. However, we need to ensure we take a responsible approach to spreading the word of this AR gospel to our clients. If we focus on the truths about our solution, customers will definitely be more likely to sift through the noise, and it'll increase adoption. And in the words of former CEO of Campbell Soup, Denise Morrison, the single most important ingredient in the recipe for success is transparency, because transparency builds trust.
This is Inside Forbes Councils. We'll be right back.
Are you a successful executive or entrepreneur with insights to share? Learn more about our invitation-only communities at ForbesCouncils.com. Forbes Councils members have the opportunity to collaborate with fellow business leaders to overcome challenges and create new opportunities. Members also have access to support benefits that help them save time and money, and a platform, Community Voice, on Forbes.com, through which they can amplify their voices and exchange ideas. See if you qualify at ForbesCouncils.com.
Joseph Surprenant cautions companies against overpromising how they market augmented reality, especially at the enterprise level. AR may not quite be there yet, and marketing should be transparent about that. Absent AR, let's look at plain old reality just by itself, our real, actual, physical world. Robert Brill is the CEO of Brill Media and will share his thoughts on how marketing can leverage data on where we go, what we do, and where we are when we do what we do.
Hey, my name is Robert Brill. I am the founder and CEO of BrillMedia.co. The business was started in 2013, and I've been doing this full time since 2015. And I think the most interesting thing that's happening in the marketplace today for marketers is that digital advertising is accessible to everyone. Everyone can log into Facebook and into YouTube and to Google, have access to some really powerful platforms. And when marketers work with us, they get access to tools that aren't necessarily available on those platforms, such as hyperlocal data, audience data from big data companies like Oracle, Nielsen, and Acxiom. Another most interesting sort of relevant topic in digital advertising today is that a lot of media that isn't traditionally associated with digital advertising is becoming easily accessible and digitalized. So what I mean by that is through our ad buying platforms, we have the ability to buy advertising on out-of-home ads, so transit shelters, restaurants, salons, gyms, billboards that you see on the side of the freeway. These advertising placements are bought using automation. We upload the creative to an ad buying platform. We set up the targeting, and the ads run every 8 to 15 seconds across a very targeted landscape, right? So we have the ability to serve ads to people that are half a mile around a GameStop location, or who are in a particular zip code, or who are likely to be Hispanic moms in a certain neighborhood. And all of this targeting is really made possible by the fact that data is infused, and that data is part of that digitalization of what was once known as traditional media being radio, television, and digital out of home. So when we propose digital advertising campaigns, and when we talk about digital advertising campaigns, what we are talking about really is anything that lives on a mobile device, on a desktop, on a digital out of home board, local audio. So if you're in Los Angeles and you're listening to the digital audio stream of Power 106, we can serve you an ad within that digital audio stream on iHeartRadio, and certainly televisions. So people who are watching connected televisions, who are watching Roku, who are watching digital apps like A&E and HGTV on their connected television, our ads appear on those placements. And what's more is that we can tie back ads that appear on television to an desktop or mobile conversion, meaning we can serve you an ad on your connected television, connect your household data together, and now we know that if you saw an ad on your television, then the next day you went to the website and made a purchase or submitted your email, we know that the origination of that conversion or of that transaction that you did came from the connected television advertising. So I think a lot of this is not known to small and mid-sized marketers, and our job is to evangelize the capabilities. That's essentially how we sell. So I don't do much to sell us. I sell our industry. I sell the fact that, did you know there's an entire landscape of digital advertising that is addressable, that is powerful, that drives actual business results? And I think if you don't meet us, if you're a small or mid-sized marketer and you're not talking to someone, a company like us, and frankly, I don't know who else does the type of stuff that we do and makes it available to small and mid-sized marketers. A lot of this stuff is available for big advertising agencies. So if you have $100 million to spend or $10 million to spend in a year, big advertising agencies love to do this type of addressable programmatic advertising for their clients. But a lot of this is not available to small and mid-sized marketers, and that's the niche that we fill. So I'm Robert Brill, founder and CEO of Brill Media. Thank you.
Another continuing theme in marketing is the changing way in which marketers reach us once we are identified as a potential customer. One of those ways, of course, is chatbots. Nolan Clemmons of Clemmons.io.
Hello, my name is Nolan Clemmons, and I am the CEO of Clemmons.io, a growth marketing and lead generation agency based here in Dallas, Texas. Today I'd like to cover one of the latest marketing trends that's happening right now and will continue to grow going into 2019, and that is the rise of chatbots. Chatbots are simply an automated conversational experience, and they allow businesses to instantaneously interact with customers. You've probably already seen a chatbot of some sort, particularly a web plugin such as Intercom or Drift. There's also a few other platforms that chatbots can thrive on, particularly anything that's built around messaging, like Slack, a workplace communications platform. Today, though, I'm going to be focusing on one platform in particular, and that is Facebook Messenger. There are over 1.3 billion active users and growing on the Facebook Messenger platform. One reason why chatbots are so effective for marketing purposes is that they essentially act as a marketing tesseract. For those of you that aren't familiar with the A Wrinkle of Time or science fiction, that a tesseract essentially crosses dimensions or folds space, allowing marketers to skip steps that normally happen in a traditional funnel. So let's say you're running a lead generation ad where check out the 3 main benefits of chatbots. Download our free ebook to learn more, which is you'll see that particularly something like that in B2B. And you would run a paid ad to drive traffic to a landing page where they fill out a form, including their email address, and then you email them a PDF copy and add them to your drip sequence. And while that can be effective sometimes, a chatbot can do most, if not all, of those steps within the Facebook Messenger interface. You get to combine the instantaneous messaging functionality seen with SMS or text messaging, along with the rich media that you see with email and social media. And speaking of email, I view that as one of the most powerful marketing channels out there. If you have 100,000 Twitter followers versus 100,000 email subscribers, those email subscribers will outperform your Twitter audience in terms of open rates and clicks 9 times out of 10. Well, chatbots particularly, they outperform even that of email. So let's say a good email open rate is 25%. A chatbot can easily get 3 times that, or 75%, 80%, 90%. Extremely high open rates and also high click-through rates as well, which is one of the main metrics that marketers focus on. Essentially, a good way to think about it is a chatbot's great for handling incoming replies, which can be useful for customer service and productivity, particularly frequently asked questions. So instead of focusing on the bot component or the artificial intelligence, think of what you would have, what someone on your team would have in an actual conversation on the phone with a customer, and how you can emulate that inside of Facebook Messenger. And you can include things like pictures and videos, which can be quite effective, especially if you know that they're going to be opened. You can have buttons and options for users to click. For example, collecting email addresses and phone numbers using the quick reply functionality. They can, instead of having to type that out manually, they can simply press a button that will auto-populate based on whatever contact information is associated with their Facebook account. There are, however, a few restrictions specific to the Facebook Messenger platform that you need to keep in mind when you're planning campaigns. Facebook does not want businesses spamming users because that would lower the overall efficacy of the platform itself. They also don't necessarily want people sending messages for free. Now, once you acquire a chatbot subscriber, you're allowed to send a limited amount of messages, and this is known as the 24+1 rule. So for up to 24 hours after a user has last interacted with your page's bot, you're allowed to send as many promotional messages to them until that user opts out. After that, you can only send one more promotional message. You can, however, apply for subscription-based messaging, which is primarily for updates pertaining to events, reminders, transactions, things of that nature. So you can be indirect with those because once a user interacts with that 24+1 cycle starts over. So a good analogy to think of that is basketball. In basketball, you have to dribble the ball as you're moving. And once you stop dribbling and grab the ball with both hands, you either have to pass that ball to a teammate or attempt a shot. So if you pass the ball to a teammate and they pass you the ball back, you can start dribbling again. And that's the best way to think of Facebook Messenger and how you can use that. And you could probably use it as a supplement to your existing channels like email and text messaging. Another tip for those that are thinking of implementing a chatbot in their business is, I'd say, to be as conversational and as genuine as possible. And by that, I mean, you don't have to be the greatest copywriter in the world or even the best programmer in the world to build a chatbot. There are several platforms. The main ones are ManyChat, Chatfuel, and MobileMonkey that have interfaces that don't require you to use any code whatsoever to build the bot. And I'd also recommend that you be as conversational as possible. So act like you're talking to a real person, and that's how you should compose the various options and responses that your bot produces when users interact with it. It's not that users aren't going to be aware that they're interacting with a bot. I'd say we're still another 2 or 3 years out from that in terms of the capabilities of artificial intelligence and machine learning technologies. We are getting closer, I will say that. Another interesting use case is for voice or verbal-based chatbots. Particularly, and a good example would be Amazon's Alexa or Apple's Siri in some cases. Because let's say I'm driving somewhere and I want to know which road will have the least amount of traffic. It's not safe for me to open up Google Maps to look that information up. So we're going to need some verbal interfaces, and we're starting to see that already. If you listen to Google's conference they had a few months back, they had a bot call a restaurant to schedule an appointment on the user's behalf, which is very, very interesting how that technology can be used. So I mentioned earlier that chatbots would be a marketing trend, but in the future, but it's actually already happening now. So it's not a question of if, but a question of when your business or other businesses will start leveraging bots to help them communicate with customers at scale. Thanks for listening, and I hope you found this to be of value. If you have any questions or want to get in touch with me, my email is nolan@clemmons.io, and our website is clemmons.io.
As technologies like augmented reality, chatbots, and geomarketing continue to mature, companies must also develop ways to market these technologies and use these technologies in their marketing strategies. I'd like to thank Joseph Surprenant, Robert Brill, and Nolan Clemmons for taking the time to share their insights. We'll see you on the next episode.
This has been Inside Forbes Councils. Please be sure to subscribe to us on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. If you're a member of the Forbes Councils and would like to participate in our podcast series, please email your member concierge. If you're interested in joining a Forbes Council, learn more at forbescouncils.com.